Hello, everyone. Welcome back to St. Louis Teens. I'm here today with Maria Larsen, who is the executive director and founder of Butterfly Haven. I did want to transition over to the current coronavirus pandemic and how you're
Yeah.
sort of tackling that. So, because of the coronavirus outbreak, are there any additional measures that you are taking at Butterfly Haven for the kids, families, and volunteers?
Well, since we have a little bit of a unique situation, we are very small staffed. It's typically just one or two of us that are here.
Okay.
Um, we have, of course, our sign when you come in that says, if you're sick, if you had a fever, please don't come in because we do service kids and people who have situations. And just to be safe all the way around, we want people to stay home if they're not feeling well. But being a organization that is very kid friendly, we always have Lysol and hand sanitizer and lots of soap around. So those things are pretty common to us, but we're
Right.
also encouraging people. Let's put them to use. Let's make sure that we're washing our hands. So I would say, if anything, we're kind of hypersensitive to that right now. We have posted that we're not taking any used donations at this time
Okay.
because we are really trying to focus on keeping things as clean as possible. And we did just move to this location, and so we're still trying to sort through some things. And we want to be able to serve our families without having to wipe down all of the new stuff that's coming in. That's really time consuming. And so that's one of the biggest thing I would say right now is we put a halt to any used donations coming in until we can find out what's going on with this and where it's going, and then we'll open things back up. But
Yeah. So, are you being offered any guidance or information by professional organizations or the Department of Health or the county health organization?
we are not. We have not received direct other than what's on the news, information on it, and of
Okay.
course, if our email is out there, typically any organization who has our email is sending us an update on what
Yeah.
they're doing. But as far as guiding us, we're just watching the news and trying to, be as conscientious of that as possible.
So, what kind of questions have you been receiving from, families or volunteers on a regular basis in regards to this sort of outbreak?
I wouldn't say that we have a whole lot typically because the families that are coming to us are in crisis or have a specific need, so they're coming to get that
Okay.
fulfilled and then on their way. I think if anything, it's more chatter about just the uncertainty
Yeah.
and kind of unrest of everybody not knowing what's going to happen, and what to expect. And they're already kind of in a hypersensitive mode because either they're displaced from their housing or they've just come into foster care or they've been going to school and then now they're not in school, so it's kind of a disruption to them.
Right.
It's more so of that and kind of just a mini panic of life has turned upside down rather than questions specifically about the virus. So
Okay. And,
yeah.
and sort of tagging on to that, in regards to the uncertainty, what are your personal concerns, moving forward, and what are you sort of watching out for?
Well, of course, I'm concerned because we work with families,
Yeah.
and we want our families to be as safe and their health to be um, kept, you know, healthy.
Right.
So that's obviously a priority, and the fact that if things get to the level where everybody shuts down, then we have to close our doors, and they don't have that option. So that's always in the front of our minds. And then, of course, disappointing the kids with events that we have planned. We have an Easter and spring event that we do every year, and the kids look
Okay.
forward to it. So it's kind of still on the table
Right.
because after Easter, but there's definitely that potential that it's going to have to be pushed out or
Yeah.
canceled. And so that's something that we want to keep in mind too, because our kids have so much disappointment already and so much change in their life. We want to try and eliminate as much as we can, adding to that. So obviously that's in our mind, and then the secondary in our mind is financial.
Yeah.
This is hitting everybody, and so what are donations going to look like financially to keep the doors open and be able to do the events for families? So that will be the other thing.
Oh, sorry. So like I know you sort of talked about it, but in the case if there was a lockdown, are you planning for that situation where you may have to close your doors for a temporary amount of time?
Um, we are fairly flexible because we have a minimal amount of volunteers that
Okay.
come. So it'll just be a simple text to our volunteers, hey, we're not able to come in this week or next week or whatever the situation will be,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to adjust accordingly. We're unique in the fact that we don't have employees, we're all volunteers here, so we have a very kind of flexible schedule.
Yeah.
Ours will be more disappointment because obviously we work with families,
Yeah.
like say, who are in crisis and who need us. So it'll be more of disappointment that we're not able to fulfill those needs.
And I think, lastly would be, what is your advice for volunteers at this time? And, what can the community or others and what can we do to help support your efforts to contain this?
Um, well, don't forget about the nonprofits. Find ways that you can either share them on Facebook, let other people know what's going on. If you're able to contribute financially, do that. If you're able to donate to those who are doing like food and hygiene and the basic necessities, do that. Some of them have drop boxes where you don't have to go in, you don't have to be in contact with people. And I would say just a lot of patience. Be patient. Everybody is trying to do their best on this. And we'll get through it. We'll
Yeah.
get through it. It's just different for us. So learn a little bit of a temporary norm and don't forget about us. We will definitely need lots of people to volunteer and get involved when everything lifts and comes back together.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, that's all the questions we had. So thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for answering all of our questions as well.
thank you so much for caring about our kids and our families and having me on. I
All right.
appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.